then do hero's pose, which is this one, where you sit. So you can either sit in hero's pose, so it's literally just like that, which is very good for the knees. You could sit with a block here, that can make it much more sort of comfortable, or you can do cross-legged. It's completely up to you, yeah? And then what we're doing is we're going to stay, we're working the shoulder, we're going to work the shoulders. So I want you to bring the hands together, but not actually touching, so they're like this. So you're really rounding the shoulders. And then inhale, take the arms back. So I've got cactus arms. Belly is drawn in so that you don't do that to the back, yeah? So, but you're still getting an arch. So belly is drawn in, which just reduces the lumbar curve slightly. Okay, and we're going to move on the breath. So this is just to get us in contact with the breath. So exhale, rounding, really rounding. And then inhale, take the arms back. And you can take the head back. And then exhale, get the rounding. And then inhale, take the arms back. Exhale, rounding. And inhale, arms back. We'll do this 5 or 6 times. That's the third one. Moving on the breath, exhale. And then inhale. So I'm assuming that we've all done a lot of typing today. And we're wanting to get some movement here. Exhaling again. Inhaling. And then exhale. Last one. This is the 6th one. And then inhale. Hands come back. All right. Now I'm going to ask us all actually to sit cross-legged. I'm giving you the option on that one. So sitting cross-legged. And we're going to do some stuff on the side of the body. I think we did this last week. So the first thing that you do is you're going to take both arms up in the air to get some length in the side of the body. And then we're going over to the right. So the hand's coming over to the right. And top arm stretches over. So there's lovely side stretch. If that doesn't feel comfy, you can take the hands onto the back of the head. You're still getting a lovely side stretch. Just stay there for a few breaths. Push back with the right hand, just to see how that changes the stretch. And look up, make sure your elbow, just to check your elbow, you want your elbow back, so you're not twisting, okay? It should be quite a nice, gentle stretch. Inhale, come up, both arms in the air again, and then exhale, go to the other side. And look up. Just to check where the arm is, check you're not twisting. And then push back slightly with the hands on the floor to feel what that does to the stretch. Okay. And now inhale, come up. Bring the left hand onto the right knee. Take the right hand behind you. Lengthen through the spine so you're pushing yourself up slightly, and then exhale, turn and look behind. Then turn the head and look towards the front shoulder. So looking towards your left shoulder. Inhale, look back. And then once more, turn the head and look over the left shoulder. And then bring the hands back up in the air. Come over to right hand on left knee. Get that lift, get the length. So we're going to do the same thing. So you're going to turn and look over your left shoulder. And then moving on the breath, you will come and look over your right shoulder. Just the head moving, so just the cervical spine. So exhale, get a deep turn, twist belly button towards the spine. Inhale, lengthen, just twist a bit further round. That's the whole of the spine moving around. You're trying to get the lumbar, the lower back to turn. And now just move the head on the inhale and look over your right shoulder. And then moving on the breath, look back behind yourself again. And then come forward and look over the front shoulder, so the right shoulder. And then we're going to let that go. So bring the hands back up in the air. And we're going to come over to the right. Inhale, stretch. Moving on the breath now, come back up, arms in the air. Right hand's coming to left knee. Lengthen and twist. Come back to center, taking both arms up in the air. And then go over to your right and stretch. No, I've done the wrong side, apologies. Come back up, go over to the left. And stretch, so you're coming over the side of the body. And then inhale, come up. Left hand goes onto right knee. Right hand's gone behind. Lengthen through the spine and turn. Use the arms to give you leverage to turn, yeah? Exhale, turn. Come back up to centre. Hands come up to centre. I'm going to do it wrong again because I'm trying to reverse everything. We're going over to our right now. So leaning over to the right. Come back up on the breath. Right hand's going to left knee. Lengthen and turn. Coming back. Both hands come up as you turn back to centre. Lean over to the left. Right hand's coming over the head. Inhale, come back up. Left hand onto right knee. Right hand's gone behind. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, turn. Bring both hands up to centre. Lean to your right. Come back up. Right hand onto left knee and twist. Last time now, both hands come up to centre. Lean over to the left. Both hands come up to centre. Exhale, left hand goes onto right knee. Right hand's gone behind. Lengthen through the spine and twist. Okay, and then release that. So that's just opening up the shoulders, and it's a nice deep twist, which is very good for resetting the nervous system and calming the body. Now we're going to just put our hands behind, just to get some length in the spine. So I'm just putting my hands are facing, my fingers are facing forward. So I'm just lengthening through the spine there. And then leading with the sternum, I'm going to come forwards. So this is working into the lower back now. So I'm coming forwards with my hands. Don't get very far because we're not that warm yet. Lengthen through the spine and then exhale, just folding forwards. And just release. You want gentle stretch in the lower back. If that feels at all uncomfortable, if you know you've got tenderness there, then just ease yourself up slightly, yeah? So there's no strain. But otherwise, you're creating a nice bit of space. And now take the hand, so take the fingers, so that's, you've got the fingertips on the floor, and come over to the right. So just coming across the body, coming over, heading in the direction of your right knee. And then again, releasing down. You can keep the fingers tented if you want. You might find you can go past the right knee if you're opening the side of the body and the hip. But we're wanting to be gentle. Push back slightly with the hands and see what effect that has on the stretch. And then bring the hands back to centre. Just for a second, go forwards to just realign the spine. And then tenting the hands, come over now to the left. So coming across to the left, in the direction of the left knee. You don't have to get there, it's just getting a side stretch. It really, there's no particular angle that we need to go for. It's working into your body as it is at this moment in time. And just exploring and releasing areas of tension and tightness. So same thing, or just sort of inhaling, lengthening the spine, exhaling, folding forwards. And you'll probably find that one side you were able to go further around than the other, completely normal. Take that information and start building a picture of where you hold areas of tightness and build slightly restrict it. You'll have less mobility to start building a picture. Okay, and then come back to centre. And inhale, slowly come up to sitting. Okay, take the hands behind again and just do a gentle stretch. Just getting the spine to go the other way. Okay, now we're going to come on to all fours and we're going to do some cat-cows. So the first cat-cow, really arching up through the spine, articulating every single vertebrae, really feeling the space, and then going the other way. On the inhale, crown of the head goes up and bottom goes up towards the ceiling. Moving on your own breath, exhaling, really arching. Moving on the breath, a great way of connecting to the breath. Inhaling, going the other way. Exhaling, arching again. And inhaling, going the other way. Now do some rolling cat-cows. So you're going to roll from side to side. So this is just moving into the hips in a different way. So they're going one way. So you're taking the spine in a circle, as well as going up and down. And now go the other way, please. Okay. Then we're just going to do the wrist, gentle wrist stretch. So no weight bearing. You're just going to straighten. I've gone for the left arm. You're straightening the left arm. And you've got the back of the hand on the floor, but there's no weight being put on it at all. It's just a counter stretch for the wrists. You think about it when you're typing or writing. The hands are going one way. And then do the same on the other side. So swap sides. Yeah, no weight bearing. You just want to get, you're just releasing the tendons, stretching the tendons. And it's the wrists, so you've got to be really careful. And then give your fingers a little wiggle. And I'm going to say come back onto your toes just to get a toe stretch in. So this is quite strong. If that feels too much, get a cushion, take advantage of your props, place it underneath. Yeah. So underneath the thighs, or you can put a rolled up blanket or something here underneath the knees to create a bit more space in the knees. And then just to take our mind off, we're going to repeat the stretch we did at the start. So rounding the back, fingertips come together but don't touch. And then inhale, do cactus. If that really feels too much, come up onto your knees and just take the weight off. And that will make it bearable. So rounding again, fingers coming towards each other, so still working the upper back. And then cactus. Once more, rounding, fingers coming together, and then cactus. And then take that away. And give your toes a little wriggle. So I'm doing circles with my feet. Circles one way and now circles the other. All right. So I'm going to take my right arm and I'm going to rotate it 4 times. I'm going to watch it with my eyes to get so that the stretch goes all the way into the neck. So take your right arm, please, and rotate it backwards. So as if you were doing backstroke. 2, 3, 4. And then thread the arm underneath and come onto the side. So we're staying with the side stretch. And you can, if you want, take the top arm up and across the back to open up the shoulder more. But that might not feel comfortable. So again, go with what works for you. You might want to support the head. You might want to have a cushion there. It might feel nicer. We're just releasing. It's a passive stretch. So this is working shoulders and side of the body. And then come up and do the same again on the other side. Check your knees, check that your one hasn't shunted forwards to make it easier for the hips. And then off you go. So doing the other side. 2, 3, 4, 5, and thread the arm under. And then come over to that. So I am going to ask you to push back into downward dog. Okay, so we're pushing back into downward dog. It's going to walk the dog. And then we're going to take the right leg up in the air and let the knee fall to the foot fall towards your bottom. So that's opening at the hip. And then we're going to bring the knee towards our forehead. And then back up in the air. And then towards the right, anywhere on the right arm. And then back up in the air. And then towards the left arm. Again, if you know that you really aren't feeling great, skip this, go to child's pose. Or stay down with dog. Yeah, which is weight bearing in a good way of opening up the legs. Completely up to you. We're going to swap sides if you're doing this. So if you are doing this, left leg now is coming up, knees bending and foot's falling towards your bottom. And then as you exhale, knees coming in the direction of the head and then back. And then in the direction of the left arm. Now back. And then right arm. And then back. Okay. And then both feet are going to come to the floor. And from here we're going to shift into dolphin. So you're going to take your forearms onto the floor, which will intensify the stretch in the legs. Push the head between the arms to really work the shoulders. And then release again, come to the floor. So everyone come into child's pose for a minute. So you can sit the knees wide, toes touch, and just stretch forwards. And release down. Okay, now tent the hands, so that's going onto your fingertips. And take the hands, so we're working another side stretch. We're working towards 2 poses, so we're opening the shoulders and the side of the body. Take the hands now to the left-hand side of the mat. You can place your right hand if you want on top of the left, or not. And then what I want you to do is just ease off slightly. So don't go as far over, because it'll allow you to relax and release and deepen the stretch. So bring your hands back slightly from wherever you went, and the forehead is in the direction of the floor. And just rest down again. So the stretch is happening on the right side of the body, but you might feel it in both shoulders in a different way. Shoulders and armpits, yeah? This is a great pose for resting the nervous system because the forehead's supported, but also hearing your breath because you're in almost in a confined space. So please bring your attention to your breath. And I'm going to do a breath count, and I'd like you to, If it's comfortable, regulate your breath to that speed. So we're slowing both the inhale and the exhale. And if it's not comfortable, just let it go. Don't try and follow the count. Do whatever works for you, where the breath, you're not holding it or creating any tension, you're just limiting it. Okay, so I'm going to do a breath count. So inhaling, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. So try and keep that count going in your head now as we slowly move the hands over to the other side of the mat. And again, you go across, and then I want you to just come back slightly and just release that a bit, yeah? See how everyone's doing. You all right, Caroline? Yeah? So you're just gone across to the other side now. Yeah, that's it. And then let the head rest down, and that should give you a nice stretch. And then thinking about the breath count. So inhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then come back to centre. And I'm going to ask everyone to push up into downward dog again. We're going to come into pigeon. Okay, so I know you don't like downward dog, Steph, but it's taking you into pigeon, so that will, I'm sure, balance out. So right leg's coming up in the air, and then it's coming forwards, and it's coming in the direction of the hands. And just stay with where you've landed. So I need to prop myself in this. Tight hips, you need to prop yourself. Aiming to get a level back that you can balance something like a glass on your back. So think about that. It's an intention, you might not get there. If you've got a lot of space between your buttock and the floor, then please do put some sort of support there, cushions. And you can either stay upright or you can come down. Completely up to you. So I do know if you're opening the hips, you'll have your foreleg. Sometimes it can be almost parallel with the front of the mat, but that's not necessarily, you know, if you've come down like me and it's the legs tucked in, let's respect that, because of the tightness in the hips. If you start moving the leg, then your knee's going to try and take the strain, and that's not obviously going to be very good. This is a lovely stretch. You should feel it in the glutes, the hip flexors, could be the outside of the leg, inside, you know, lots of different places. And then just releasing down, aiming to get the head, forehead supported, because that's very calming. So you can do that by having your hands in fists, or just have a hand on the floor. The head might come all the way to the floor. So go with what feels comfortable. And come back to the breath count, please. Again, you should, the fact that you've got your shoulders and arms near your head creates a little sense of a space where you can hear your breath. So I'm not going to count, I'm just going to ask you to do that in your head. And it can be counting to 4, counting to 3, counting to 6, whatever works for you. Okay, and then coming back up, just pushing back into downward dog, simply to shift sides, okay? So come up, and if you need to move your props from one side to the other, then please get them ready. And walking the dog. And then we're going to go to the other side. So left foot's coming up in the air, and then coming through. And like I say, get to where it lands. It might be worth just wiggling the back foot. So the right leg back a little bit, just to make sure you're not taking any strain on the knee. And if you've got this gaping hole between where the hips are and the buttock and the floor, then please do support yourself, okay? So this is my tighter side, so I need a couple of blocks here by the looks of things. It's a little bit too much. Keep going until you find something that's comfy, and then repeat what you did on the other side. You may have stayed up. But I think folding forwards just feels more nourishing. So try and get that place where the back is level, the hips are level. 1.5. Okay. And then relaxing down. And this time, not doing the breath count, but bringing your awareness to the breath. And what's the quality of the breath? Deepening the breath. And just listening to the quality and the sound, the rhythmical sound. Which is, if you're familiar with Ujjayi, you could deepen, you could do Ujjayi breathing now. Which is where you, it's as if you were whispering, but you keep the lips closed. What's also been described as if you're blowing on a glass, the glass is to clean them, that slight constriction in the throat, you're aiming for that. And you're breathing in and out through the nose. And then we're going to release out of that. I'd like you to just watch for a minute. I'm going to show you the pose that we're going to do now. There's two parts to it. So I'm going back into downward dog. So I'd like you to just come onto your knees and look at the screen. So what we're going to do, I'll show you coming out to this side. So I've brought my foot out to the side. So I've got my left foot out to the side. And I'm going to sweep my left arm across the body, and then I'll take my right arm back towards my toe, my heel, okay? And then I'll bring the left arm across the body, and it comes out to the side. And then I'm stretching this arm up and over the body. So you start off, so I'll repeat that. So arm comes across the body, and the hand goes back towards the heel. And then moving on the breath, then it comes back across the body and you stretch to the side. So these are two movements that we've been doing. So we're just putting them together now. So this is the side stretching we're doing. So inhale, hand comes across the body, reaching back. If you don't get to the foot, if that doesn't feel comfortable, have your hand on your bum. Okay, and just get that opening. And then as you come back, the hand comes, stretches down the leg, and the other arm comes up, and it can rest on the back of the head. It doesn't have to go over. So go with what variation works for you. With the stretched leg, you've got the heel and the toes lining up ideally. Okay, you don't want the leg pointing out, you want it to be pointing forwards. So off we go. So let's actually start stretching the hand down the leg and getting the side stretch. And then inhale. Arm comes across the body, reaching back, possibly getting the heel, maybe supporting yourself and hand coming onto the bum. And then across the body. So moving on your breath. Inhale. Stretching. Across the body. So you might feel, you should feel this. This is really working the hips as well as the side. Coming up. And stretching. We're going to do 2 breaths in each pose now. So 2 breaths over to the side. Slowing it down and then hand coming across the body, reaching back, and 2 breaths here. And then come up and swap sides. So I would suggest just coming onto all fours really. And then take the other leg out. And come up. Everyone finding that okay? Like I say, if you can't reach back, or you'll find it just feels a bit anxiety inducing because it's quite a deep back bend, then bring the hand onto the back of the bum, yeah? Rather than down to the floor. So go with what works for you. So I don't think I'm showing everyone. So you'd be bringing the hand, instead of going to the floor, you're bringing the hand onto the bum, okay? So start off stretching down the side. Inhale, stretch down the side. Remember to make sure the foot's pointing forward. And then release that. Hand comes back. And hand goes to the heel. So you can have your toes turned under, which will raise the heel, might make it feel more accessible. Absolutely fine. And moving on the breath. Sliding the arm down the leg. And I'll demonstrate a different toe actually. So you can have the toe turned under if that's easier. So moving on the breath, hand comes across. And possibly comes to the feet, or it goes to the bum. Moving across the body. And then coming back. Across the body. So 2 breaths now. So 2 breaths. And then back. 2 breaths. Last time. Coming up. And 2 breaths. Okay. And then releasing out of that. So I would recommend having something to the knees. I haven't got anything to hand, so I can't really. We're going to, just because you don't want to put any strain on the knees. So if you ever come to hand. So we're going to do camel pose, which is a strong back bend. So again, go easy. So standing sort of up, it may be that you stay with, so it's a chest opener as well as a back bend. Maybe that you go with this sensation where you've got the hands stay on the back of the bum. So we'll all start with this. Elbows move towards each other. And you push actively into the floor with your knees, okay? And that gives you the stretch and the lift. And then you can reach back and possibly get hold of the foot, or you might stay with your arms and your hand on your bum and your elbows moving towards each other, which is a lovely opening of the chest and the upper back. Okay, so go with what works for you, and you can look down the body. You don't have to pick the hip back. It's strong, and we haven't warmed up hugely, so I find it quite hard. So go with what works for you, okay? And then release. Come out. Everyone come onto their bottom on heels, and just let the body absorb that, okay? So that's quite a strong chest opener, back bend. So just close the eyes and feel the effects of that. Right, now from here, we're going to go into downward dog again, and it's a side stretch. So we're going to do active. So I'm coming up into downward dog. It's going to get the outside of the foot, basically, that side of the leg. And I'm going to take my right leg up in the air, and then I'm bringing it through. So it's called fallen triangle. So I brought the legs through and across the body. And you can stay like this. The stretch is happening on the outside of that leg, so my right leg. Foot's on the floor, or you can take the arm up and take a couple of breaths here. And if this just doesn't feel right, and you think that's got too much effort involved, then please come to standing and do standing triangle, because that will be the next pose that we're going to do. If you're doing falling triangle, come back into downward dog, and then take left leg across, and repeat on the other side. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to slowly bring the feet towards the hands and hands towards the feet. And then go for a minute. And then come up to standing, so we're all going to do triangle. Okay. So for triangle, I'm beheaded. I'll come over here a bit more. For triangle, I want to keep working on the chest, okay? So I put my right foot forward, got my left foot pointing in at 45 degrees. So you then pull your hips so that they're facing, so in my case it's facing towards the computer. So get your position so you can face towards your screen. If that means you do reverse the legs, then do that. What we're going to do is we're going to do normal triangle. So the hands come out in a T shape. I like to open up the shoulders by raising the palms up to begin with. And then on an exhale, you're reaching something that's just out of reach. It's as if you're really trying to get something. And then the hand's going to come down and come onto the leg. Or some people prefer to have the hand resting on the inside of the leg. And then I want you to take your top arm, so in my case it's the left, and take the arm back. Okay, so it's, instead of trying to be straight, I'm really working the shoulder and the side of the body, and I'm taking the arm back. And this is a forest yoga pose. Okay, so just see how far you can take that arm back. If that doesn't feel comfortable, you can take the arm down the, down the back of the body. So it's more, you're still getting a strong shoulder opener, but there's not the weight-bearing aspect to it with the upper arm. So it's your shout, whichever feels good for you. And breathe. And you can look up or you can look down. It's completely up to you. Forest yoga, it doesn't matter where the head goes. So go with what feels comfortable for you. And then release, come up, swivel around and do the same thing on the other side. So first thing is to just bring the hips, square them towards. So you're rolling your back leg, sort of thigh out, both of them out actually. The good thing about pushing your pelvis forwards, that's a good way of explaining it. And then the hands are coming up. And on the next, if you're wobbling, then you might need to take the feet slightly further apart, get a bit more space in nature. So go with that. And then exhale, reaching the hands just out of reach. Bring the hand to wherever the hand gets to on the leg. And then the top arm is going back. Don't forget to breathe. If you folded the arm behind you on the other side, just repeat whatever you did on the other side. Keep breathing. That's great. And then release, come back up to standing. So I'm going to interlace the fingers behind my back, feet are pointing forward, and then lifting the chest up. On an exhale, imagine we're going over something that's quite wide, and exhale, fold forwards. Hands go up towards the ceiling. And then inhale, very slowly come up. And we're staying with this opening up the upper body. I'm turning back towards the front of the mat, and I'm going to do reverse warrior now. So reverse warrior, my right arm's coming up in the air, and my left arm's going down the leg. I'm going to do 5 breaths here. So 4 and 5. And now we're coming out that, we're going to do humble warrior. We're doing with a variation today, so I'm going to ask you to cross your hands at the wrists, so cross the arms at the elbows, sorry. And then we're going to take that forward, bend the front leg, and take the arms forward and down. I think that I explained that sufficiently. So you're coming on the inside of the front leg. Keep pushing into the back leg, make that active. And then inhale, come up. And we're going to repeat those two on the other side. I'll hold the feeling I might be running over. Yeah, last pose. So turning the other way. So reverse warrior. Arm comes up. And our hand slides down the leg. Make sure both legs are active. Okay, and then the last pose, bring the hands, take one arm over the other. So this is like eagle pose, these are the eagle pose arms. And then come, bend the front leg, swing out, come forward, and bring your shoulder on the inside of the leg if that's possible. Push into the back foot, make that active all the way, it's not on the front knee. Pull the front thigh back. 5 breaths. And then we're going to just come to sitting for Shavasana tonight. So come to the floor. You can sit cross-legged, or you can go to the hero's pose. Go and use all the props you've got to make yourself comfortable. Put a jumper on if you have one to hand, or wrap a blanket around you. And then closing the eyes. Roll your shoulders back. And just move the head gently from side to side. And then upright, tuck the chin in slightly. Eyes closed. I'd like you to come back to the 5 breath count. So inhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let any control of the breath go now. Check that there's no tightness in the jaw, no clenching in the jaw. If there is, move the lower jaw from side to side just to release that. I feel a softening. Softening in the body. If you're able to visualize a light above the head, sending heat and warmth, cascading down into the body, so starting with the toes, and then the forelegs, upper legs. So it's warm, golden, liquid light filling the body, going through the hips and the pelvis into the abdomen. With each inhale, filling the body, so chest area, heart, shoulders, down the arms, both arms, filling the fingertips, the wrist, lower arm, elbow, upper arm, and now the neck area and the whole of the head. And feel this light filling the whole of the body and overflowing and cascading down and around the body. Very slowly, just rub your hands together and get some heat between the fingertips, your fingers and palms. Once you've got a nice bit of friction and warmth there, then keep the eyes open if you prefer. If you've got glasses, just slide them up onto the head. And then cover the eyes. Eyes open or closed, it's completely up to you. And just feel the heat transferring into the eye sockets and the soft skin around the eyes. Sealing in the benefits of the practice. And then very slowly, keeping the eyes cast down, move possibly one hand, or you can do both hands. Eyes are cast down, slowly opened. And then you can, in your own time, raise the eyes. And thank you, everyone. Hope that was, thanks for practicing with me. I'll unmute you.